Okay, so finally for section 2.1, here's an example that entails some decimals. Decimals are just other numbers. I'm not going to bore you with stuff like, well, gee, 1.69 is really 1 and 69 over 100, etc. I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I've learned from students is they typically just use a calculator on this. Whenever you make a move and you add, subtract, or divide, they use a calculator. But in the old days, if some of you still might be doing this, which is to say, I'm going to look at how many decimals I've got. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, right? And the 2 is bigger than 1, so it's telling me what I ought to do is multiply by not 10, but 100. If I multiply everybody by 100, the decimal points all swing over. So think of that 100. If you want to do it this way, think of that 100 as distributing, right? And essentially, I'll put this in another color. Essentially, when you multiply, the decimal point goes over once, twice, and in fact, this is getting so messy, I'll write it again. So the 1.69x, for instance, when you hit it with 100, okay, becomes 169x, because when you multiply by 100, the decimal point moves over. It's 100 times 10, 1.69 becomes 16.9, times 10 again becomes 169. That's what we did in the old days. So think of it as moving all those decimal points once, twice, once, and twice. And if it's too much for somebody, you put a 0 on the end, right? So in this case, we get 169 minus 310 is equal to 5x. I must have erased an x. No, there is no, it's just 5. And then minus 590x. And you're able to solve the equation after that, okay? Still, I see big numbers here, and I think it might be better to use a decimal, because now you're going to watch me struggle, okay? So one of the things that you learn to do, this is a nice little lesson, is I'm going to get rid of the negative by adding 590x. That makes life a little bit easier. I know it's lefty, righty, and all that stuff. In fact, I'm going to slow down on this like the last equation we did in the previous video. I went kind of quick. This gives us 690, 759. 759x minus 310 is equal to 5. And then, unless there's a mistake here, what we'd have is next to go plus 310 plus 310. And lo and behold, we've got 759x is equal to 315. Do you see a mistake here? Do you see my calculator here? Well, the main thing here, of course, we divide by 759, is we get an answer. The gist is that we're able to solve it. There may be a mistake in there. Let me check again. 169, 310. I don't know if I wrote it down right, but that's the deal. So that's actually, you can find these problems. This is problem number 113 in the textbook. I should have actually on these previous ones said, hey, this is problem number 113. And that's what you do. And I'm checking it right now. One of the things is to make sure you wrote it down right. And I sure think I did. I think I solved it right. I can check in the back of the book. Let's pretend it's right. The main thing here is to notice that you're able to clear decimals if you want by scooting over, but everyone has to scoot over the same amount, okay? And so I think we'll end it there. Decimal points, a lot of times students just use their calculator, but I thought I'd throw this one in for free. All right, see you in section